In the aftermath of Adam Driver's big reveal that he wanted to do a movie called The Hunt for Ben Solo right after the sequel trilogy, where they brought him back to life, that they pitched to Lucasfilm and ultimately Disney shot down, it feels like everyone in the mainstream media is taking every opportunity to, one, pretend like this movie wouldn't have flopped and failed at the box office, and two, pretend there's actually a huge demand for it. And as a result, basically anyone who's ever been involved with Star Wars at any point in time is being asked specifically about whether they'd come back or whether they want to see The Hunt for Ben Solo. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that Oscar Isaac, while doing promotion for the new Frankenstein movie, which, by the way, Guillermo del Toro, Frankenstein is a very good movie, and Oscar Isaac is the lead character in that. But of course he's going to get asked about Star Wars. Everybody always does who's ever involved with Star Wars. And when Oscar Isaac was asked the question about returning to Star Wars, he gave an interesting response. Oscar Isaac refused to work with Disney over Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. And yes, indeed, Oscar Isaac, who has said before, in the immediate aftermath of Rise of Skywalker, said, I'm never doing this shit again unless I run out of money and I need to pay for a house or something. He has shifted his tone a little bit and now typically says in interviews, you know, if there's a great story, I'd be willing to come back for a great story. I don't think there's any great stories that involve Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron, just like every fucking character in the sequels, had no plan, had no actual cohesive character arc, and is a useless, worthless pile of trash character. That's what we got from the sequels with every fucking character, whether it's Finn, whether it's Poe, whether it's Rey, whether it's Kylo Ren / Ben Solo. That's just the reality, all the Disney Star Wars cope aside. But Oscar Isaac, specifically over the Jimmy Kimmel suspension, says he will refuse to work with Disney. Oscar Isaac said he'd do Star Wars again if Disney doesn't succumb to fascism after Kimmel Live suspension. It is crazy. It's wild that the Jimmy Kimmel suspension was so successfully gaslit by so many people. So many people in the mainstream media and so many stupid, retarded sheep that just repeat the same thing, helped by Hollywood elite echo chamber retards. They have successfully convinced a big portion of people that Trump is the reason that Jimmy Kimmel was suspended. Not that Jimmy Kimmel went live on air and lied to his audience, and not that sponsors, advertisers, local broadcasters rebelled against Disney and said, hey, you have to do something about this. We're not going to fucking air this. It's wild that Trump has been playing for this. Especially when a few days after, Jimmy Kimmel was right back on the air. This dude got a couple days paid suspension when he went on air and told a pretty insidious fucking lie. He got a couple days suspension because advertisers didn't want to show anything on his show, because local broadcasters refused to air his show, not because of fucking Trump. Because here's the thing, Oscar Isaac, and we'll get to his quote in a second. Succumb to fascism. So it's fascist for Jimmy Kimmel, who has been shitting on Trump since 2016, right? For 10 years at this point. That's why the ratings are down. It's why no one finds him funny anymore. People are really fucking sick and tired of it. But that's what he's been doing, and that's his prerogative. It might lose him viewers, but it's his prerogative. So he's been doing that for 10 fucking years and has been on air for 10 years. Then he tells an outrageous lie that sponsors and broadcasters everything are like, hey, we need to take a couple days off from this guy. And Disney says, yeah, let's figure this out. Let's come to something, and he'll be right back on the air. He comes right back on air, and every single day since he's been back on air has been shitting all over Donald Trump. Where's the fascism, right? If Donald Trump is this fucking fascist like you claim, why is this happening? Why are so many of these late night hosts doing the exact same talking points, right? Why is that the case? Where is the fascism? For a fascist, he's really bad at this whole fascism thing. Just saying. But let's get into the exact quotes from Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac worked with Disney on 2 projects, Moon Knight and 3 Star Wars films. But the Frankenstein star says he might not return to the Mouse House after it briefly suspended late night host Jimmy Kimmel earlier this year. On whether or not he'd be open to return to play Poe Dameron in Star Wars, Isaac told GQ this, quote, yeah, I mean, I'd be open to it, although right now, I'm not so open to working with Disney. But if they can figure it out and, you know, not succumb to fascism, that would be great. If that happens, then yeah, I'd be open to having a conversation about a galaxy far, far away, or any number of other things. Now, keep in mind, this was conducted like a month ago or so, so it was probably in the immediate aftermath of the Jimmy Kimmel stuff, right? It's not like he said these things yesterday. But still, it just goes to show you what a fucking bubble these people are in. The idea that Disney was just bending the knee to Trump, yet then 2 days later let Jimmy Kimmel back on his show to only shit on Trump. It's so fucking stupid. You have to be either a retard or so in your little fucking echo chamber that is the entertainment industry to believe something like that, to peddle this bullshit. But that's who these actors are. That's where they live. They might be retarded, and they also are in this echo chamber bubble. So Oscar Isaac, ironically, revealing that there's no fucking plans for Moon Knight, right? For anybody that's like, oh, wait, Moon Knight might be in Avengers Doomsday, or Moon Knight, clearly not. He didn't even fucking mention that. He just said, I'm not working with them. But it's specifically for Star Wars, maybe in the future, if they don't succumb to fascism, then maybe I will. This stuff gets so old so fucking quickly. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.